One Zambia, One Nation, and thanks for joining us on Zanis News. To present, my name is Juliet Mtale. Top stories in the news tonight. Water tanks put up in Kanyama. Price shock emergency cash transfer project launched. Plus government procures medical drugs and supplies. Zanis News in detail. Residents of Shau area in Kanyama constituency have appreciated government's initiative of putting up 10,000-litre water tanks in the area to address the cholera situation. Shirika Chabalengula now reports.
With the increasing cases of cholera in the country, the government has heightened interventions with the help of various stakeholders. One such intervention is the provision of clean drinking water, which is paramount in the fight against cholera. In Suwa area of Kanyama constituency, the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, in collaboration with the Zambia National Service, ZNS, is putting up water tanks. The residents are happy with the development.
Tifuni konkala green. Pamene government ititandizira na iseti tiziponyepo. Notati pantu government yatuletera menshi then na iforo ture ikala nomba nefiko atikana tukwata menshi ya green. Olo tuma menshi ya green opo tuikerenga pali ifiko. Still money stapale foto wapanga.
And President Hakainde Hichilema has assured the community in the cholera hit areas of long-term solutions to the water and sanitation challenges.
Government will do as it is, will do more than what we're doing now. But this is to bring the situation under control. Going forward, we need long-lasting solutions, including the manufacture of our own vaccines. We've been talking about this for some time now. Other auxiliary measures, such as just keeping ourselves in a hygienic position. Water supply, clean water supply. CDF money must be used and focus on providing water supply. You already had our guidelines on shallow wells. They must go and never reappear. But also to a pit latrines next to a source of water. No. What else? Solid waste, garbage. People throwing garbage all over the shore. You're taking a Coke, when you're done with the Coke, you throw it by the side. That's irresponsibility of the highest order.
Shilika Chabalengula for Zanis in Lusaka.
Now in CHISMBA district of Central Province, government has started burying shallow wells in the district as a preventive measure against the spread of cholera. CHISMBA District Commissioner Joel Mboyama says tests conducted by health authorities indicate that the water from shallow wells in the area is highly contaminated. More in this report by Linda Mupemo.
Government has commenced burying shallow wells in CHISMBA District in Central Province. The move is aimed at preventing the further spread of cholera through the consumption of contaminated water. Statistics indicate that there are over 900 shallow wells in the unplanned settlements in the area.
They are cooperating, nobody's complaining, because they've realized it's better to have their wells buried, they remain alive, than leaving them open. They continue drawing water from these unsafe wells, and then they get the disease. CHISMBA has so far recorded 19 cases of cholera, out of which 15 patients have so far been managed and discharged.
CHISMBA Town Council chairperson says the local authority has provided an alternative source of safe drinking water to affected households.
We've closed about 10 to 11 water points, and we are, as a council, we've taken our water bowser, a 20,000-litre capacity, positioned the bowser right in the compound. People have safe and clean drinking water. This measure is not a punitive measure. It's a corrective measure and a solution to protect our brothers and sisters so they can avoid using those water points. They're claiming that they're just drawing water for bathing and washing clothes.
The local authority has also ordered all the marketeers to relocate to a designated place so as to maintain a clean environment. Linda Mupemo, Zanis, in CHISMBA.
A team of Zambian health experts is conducting a pre-shipment inspection routine of the second dispatch of drugs that government has procured through the Zambia Medicine and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA. The team has expressed satisfaction with the way the Egyptian suppliers have adhered to their contractual obligations. Delegation leader Maxwell Kasonde has told Zanis in Egypt that the arrival and subsequent distribution of the commodities in Zambia will mark a crucial step in the country's quest to attain universal health coverage. Pethias Mtale now reports.
This is the Zambian delegation of health experts in Egypt conducting pre-shipment inspection of drugs that will soon land in Zambia, led by Ministry of Health and ZAMSA officials.
So far so good. We are happy with the environment, the storage conditions. They are meeting the conditions, and also the staff are very compliant and very hospitable. So the process is going on.
They are checking products one by one to ensure conformity, a requirement by the World Trade Organization WTO to conform with quantity and quality before final delivery from site of manufacturing to ZAMSA for onward distribution to health facilities.
So far so good. At least we expected, as of today, we expected over 15 products today.
And for storage conditions, storage facilities, we hope to look at the records, that is the temperature monitoring records, and then temperature equipment, temperature monitor regulating equipment. Okay. That is, are we using any laminar flow type of temperature regulating, or is it just normal air conditioning equipment that is being used? So
Zambia has been implementing a hybrid supply chain system which depends on a two-pronged source system, namely health center kits, accounting for 96% of primary healthcare supply chain needs, and bulk source system accounting for the remaining 4% of secondary and tertiary supply chain. Pethias Mutale reporting for Zanis in Cairo, Egypt.
We now move to the northern part of the country, where Paramount Chief Chitimukulu of the Bemba people has noted that the Children's Code Act number 12 of 2022 is an important tool in building a solid and healthy society. Then Mwinem Lubemba made the remarks when the Department of Child Development paid a courtesy call on him before commencing a sensitization program on the act across the 18 chiefdoms in the province. Let's take a look.
Children under the age of 18 are vulnerable and more exposed to many forms of abuse. In order to safeguard and protect the children, government enacted the Children's Code Act number 12 of 2022. The Department of Child Development in Northern Province has since embarked on a program to sensitize traditional leaders across the 18 chiefdoms in the province on this act and the National Child Safeguarding Framework.
Even the abana must be cared for and protected. Remember, caring yawana na protection hii. Tekuma parents weka fie. Konza ukukulesa ngomwana, there must be care na chani na protection. Ngoma na ya kuskulu, unga pera care na protection ni nani? Ni teacher na ma parents tevyo, banga nina mwana alekula bwi.
Earlier, the Department of Child Development paid a courtesy call on Paramount Chief Chitimukulu of the Bemba people, who described the act as an important tool for building a healthy society.
I think this Children's Code will help us as a nation to see how we can treat our children. Because the environment in which the children are brought predicts their future. If they are brought into a violent environment, then they'll be violent eventually. So I think this one, especially because it combines with the African Charter. The African Charter looks at our position as Africans.
The community in Chifunkole Mfumu Chiefdom in Kasama has appreciated the initiative to enlighten them on protecting the children.
If twasambirira tuletu otela pantu bamitatu ashwafwe bafyashi nsambu sha mwana efe tufire kumubombera abafyashi banandi bonshaba fyala abana chingiriri abana babo bwino kairwa basunge bwino pantu entungulu shisha kuntanshi.
Helen Bwalia for Zanis in Kasama, Northern Province.
Minister of Community Development and Social Welfare Services, Doreen Mwamba, says government is determined to address the pressing economic challenges that have been worsened by global forces. Speaking when she launched the Price Shock Emergency Cash Transfer Project in Kabwe District, Mrs. Mwamba noted that the surge in prices for essential goods has left many people, especially the poor and vulnerable, grappling with financial worries. Details in this report.
Government has continued to implement various social protection programs, such as the social cash transfer, with the latest being the Price Shock Emergency Cash Transfer Project. Launching the project in Kabwe, Minister of Community Development and Social Services, Doreen Mwamba, has warned scammers of stern action.
Desawon awaba chitefyo kwebati ishimpia teshakuwa galilako nimpia shabalanda era balanda bengi lekenyu taking advantage of the poor and vulnerable.
Ms. Mwamba has also warned that the social cash transfer should not be politicized.
Let us take our excitement somewhere. In actual final politics for social cash transfer. In the land of politics, our politics. Now, see what our politics will later cheap politics over. Social cash transfer.
Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Mwanakampwe says some Community Welfare Assistant Committee members have been demanding a cut from the transfer beneficiaries.
Whether CWACs or some unscrupulous members, they will go back to the beneficiaries and say, we are the ones that put you there, so give us a little. And I think we've sent a louder message.
Kabwe District Commissioner Lennox Chimwambwa says government recognizes the critical role that social protection systems play among the vulnerable.
Protecting the poorest and most vulnerable against consumption shock, and has identified social cash transfer as an important platform in smoothing consumption and ensuring access to basic social provisions for poor and vulnerable households.
Meanwhile, beneficiaries have also added their voices. Over 600 people will benefit from the fund that will be paid in 2 tranches. Zanis reports in Kabwe Central Province.
Government has started disbursing the Price Shock Response Funds to social cash transfer beneficiaries in Kasama District. District Commissioner Elizabeth Goma, who witnessed the disbursement exercise, says about 1.2 million kwacha has been released to pay the beneficiaries in the area. Here are the details.
These are some of the beneficiaries of Social Cash Transfer Program in Kasama District who have come to receive the Emergency Social Cash Transfer Price Shock Response Funds. Beneficiaries will receive a top-up of 200 kwacha per month for a period of 6 months in addition to their regular Social Cash Transfer Funds. This is aimed at cushioning the economic challenges brought about by the rise in food prices. Kasama District Commissioner Elizabeth Goma has visited selected pay points to check on the disbursement of the funds.
Liramwa tupele nsambusha kwe bati tule mumona na ifo tulingire okula mumona tatulingire twaite mwayo icho kanshinga ifo ba UPND government ilipo pali ndaka yaini tule mono kwe bati bonse mwe bantu tumone ifo twaikala bwino ifu umo tuikere munche ndaini mukwa ibambe abali mona manu aba yambaka business kale kale oluru pia lwala lundu apolu ulu mwala folo luingirelo vale vapela for 3 months aini mwala po kapamie shinga 600.
Meanwhile, Kasama Mayor Teresa Kolala, who was part of the team, took advantage of the gathering to educate beneficiaries on cholera prevention. Reporting for Zanis in Kasama, I'm Jafet Munkondia.
You're watching Zanis News on Znbc TV1 at Mass Media Complex. We now move to the eastern part of the country. The Ministry of Community Development and Social Services has distributed over 900 bags of urea and compound D fertilizer to Chipata Central and Luangeni constituencies under the Food Security Park program. The bags of fertilizer were handed over to 45 community welfare assistant committees in 11 wards of the 2 constituencies for the distribution to the farmers. Here's a report.
In enhancing the fight against poverty amongst vulnerable but viable households in Chipata district, government has distributed farming inputs to more than 400 farmers under the Food Security Park in Chipata Central and Luangeni constituencies of Eastern Province. The distribution of the farming inputs through the FSP program under the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services was graced by Chipata District Commissioner Elida Banda, who was represented by District Administrative Officer Kapembo Askazwe.
Agenda for government is to fight hunger and poverty. So through this program, which is to me an empowerment program, to you and to everyone, this is a very important program. We're empowering the communities. How do we empower the communities? Through encouraging you to grow more food. You grow those food through having these inputs. If you don't have inputs, sometimes it's difficult to grow, isn't it? The food. We are empowering 45 CWACs. 45 CWACs are being empowered with 2 bags of fertilizer and 5 kg seed. Pamene mutenga ma inputs aya tia using a buino na kuti ya pindule na kuti umoyo watu usinte pa manyumba. Situfuna kuvera kuti wanagulisa fertilizer wana sintisa na chimanga iyai. And this is coming to you as beneficiaries in form of a loan.
And the Department of Community Development and Social Services in Chipata sheds more light on the commodities given to farmers.
We have 428 beneficiaries that we are reaching out to. We are reaching out to Dilika Ward, Kapata Ward, Kanjala Ward, Makangila Ward, Kova Ward. We also have Mwami Ward, Single Ward, where we are taking these inputs. So we appreciate the effort of government to see to it that people, the vulnerable people out there, are being helped.
Beneficiaries are happy with the gesture and thanked government for the timely distribution of farming inputs.
Tanzania watipasa tapeza poyambira ndipo sitiza kala chimozi mioyo yatu mabanja yatu yazasintika kusogolo uku mkati onjezereko kuti tizikala konaka mundaka kakulu kakuti tikozothandizika mokwanira.
Patso Dimbani, Zanis News, Chipata District, Eastern Province.
Zanis News continues. Southern Province Local Government Officer Charleston Hamuliata has challenged the civic leaders in Siavonga District to play a pivotal role in identifying projects that are viable and able to contribute to achieving the objective of the decentralization policy. Mr. Hamuliata said this during an orientation workshop for civic leaders and officers whose functions were devolved to the local authorities. We have more in this report.
The implementation of the decentralization policy has been at the center of enhanced community development, but the implementation process has not been without hurdles. To help level these hurdles, the Provincial Local Government Office in Southern Province has conducted an orientation workshop for councillors and officers whose functions were devolved to the local authorities. Provincial Local Government Officer Charleston Hamuliata highlighted the need for councillors and officers to take a pivotal role in community project identification.
This is the time now to show your potential to the people of Siabonga that you have the leadership skills to drive this district to prosperity. These councillors, they are saying they are ex-officials in the WDCs. They are no longer ex-officials in the WDCs. They are full-time members. And they must get involved in project identification.
Mr. Hamuliata also emphasized on the need for collaboration among stakeholders in the implementation of CDF projects.
All of us here must get involved in the CDF programs and projects. You know how it's your duty to ensure that all the zones receive equitable resources from CDF.
Siavonga Town Council Chairperson underscored the positive strides the decentralization policy has achieved, as well as highlighting some of the hurdles being faced.
This is a testimony that indeed decentralization is really taking shape. POGO, if you go around all these words you see here, there is no one who is going to say, me in my ward, there is nothing I'm seeing. Everyone is able to see and attest that there is something happening. It's either a school, it's either a clinic, it's either a road. All that money is coming from central government devolved direct to where we are.
After this 3 days workshop, civic leaders and the officers are optimistic that community development will be enhanced.
So when we are oriented time and again, we are able to at least cope up with what we have to do as civic leaders.
From the Ministry of Agriculture and especially specifically at the district level, I think we appreciate devolution because it transfers the authority, the resources close to the people.
Mkwengu Shapande, Zanis in Siavonga District, Southern Province.
And in Western Province, government has handed over a 1x3 classroom block and a semi-detached staff house at Liseli Mukola Community School in Limulunga District of Western Province, constructed under the 2022 Constituency Development Fund at a total cost of over 1.2 million kwacha. Provincial Permanent Secretary Simomo Akapelwa handed over the project in Luena constituency. Here are the details from Darlington Kabambe.
Liseli Mukola Community School, established in 2016 with poor and muddy structures, has received modern structures through the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, in Limulunga District of Western Province. Handing over a 1x3 classroom block and a semi-detached staff house worth over 1.2 million kwacha, 2022 CDF Western Province Permanent Secretary Simomo Akapelwa was the guest of honor.
The project we are commissioning and handing over today was constructed under the 2022 CDF Community Projects component at the cost of 544,000 for the 1x3 classroom block and 700,000 for the semi-detached staff house, bringing the total to 1.2 million kwacha.
And Chief Chiengeli of Mushiwa Palace expressed happiness about the gesture done by government. Luena constituency member of parliament, Mobita Akanakoka, and some local residents said the following.
Mama Ikwichi, Chief Chiengeli seli project ya bulalu lwali kukenera pamuso yelu kwalula mo mwa Ikwichi kapama munzi wa hai Chief Chiengeli amangwe lukwaluzi mwali mulunga mena itumela kweli mushe mwalona naturoba niruna manefana ngoko
neba kenya makatebule kale kamboni nimukaboni kale kakale bobo kile kale kona kutaka hapa kuto ya sasale kwa mane banyande abana basikolo pula inela abana basikolo basakeni handi mina banyande aluli abana basinane baruti ndeleo na baba mahai kwa mane luketi leo na sichaba.
And later, the permanent secretary inspected construction works at the new Limulunga District Administration. Reporting for Zanis, Darlington Kabambe in the Limulunga District of Western Province.
That last item concludes Zanis news, but before we go, we recap on the headlines. Water tanks put up in Kanyama. Price shock emergency cash transfer project launched. Plus government procures medical drugs and supplies. Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Juliet Mithile. Now remember, we are one Zambia, one nation. And also remember that cholera is real. Let us remember to take the preventive measures. Bye-bye.